You're watching KION TV, CBS 46.
And we have more positive local news. It's a celebration happening right here on the Central Coast. Roaring Camp Railroad is celebrating a half-century of being open and throwing a huge party to share its history. Central Coast News reporter Brett Martin took a tour of the rail yard and has the story.
Tucked away in the redwoods of the Santa Cruz Mountains, the sound of train whistles can be heard from Roaring Camp Railroads.
Everybody already knows us for our steam engines, so we have our century-old steam trains over here.
Tyler Armstrong has spent his life growing up in the rail yard and said it's hard to believe the camp is celebrating their 50th anniversary of being open.
It's our birthday party. We already did a birthday for our Dixie, who just turned 100 years old, making all of our engines at least a century old, if not older.
Excuse the sound, it's extremely loud in here, but this locomotive is 100 years old. It runs off fire, oil, and water to make steam.
Dixiana, Tuolumne, and Sonora conduct passengers to the summit throughout the redwood forest.
They have the power in order to pull everything up our mountain, because at one point during our train ride, we go up over at 8.5% grade.
Travis Cohn said it's an honor to be a part of making a 100-year technology work throughout the mountains.
We have to get the boiler temperature usually has to get around 2,000 degrees.
But not only does Cohn work inside the burning temperatures of the locomotive, he's also responsible for helping teach people about the history around the campground.
We give speeches about the history of the redwood forest, the history of this area back in the early 1860s to 1890s.
He said it's something that makes Roaring Camp different because you can interact with the trains rather than just observe them.
Give people, instead of just being in a museum where you'll see the train behind a piece of glass with a little plaque telling you about it, you actually get to ride the train.
In Felton, I'm Brett Martin, your Central Coast News.
And the celebration continues with tours throughout the Old Town and to the scenic views of the Santa Cruz Mountains tomorrow and throughout the year.